class, so we continue with another one topics in the chapter of Laplace transform, and this is the last topics that we will cover. Okay, so it's about transfer function and impulse response function. Okay, basically, actually this is the sort of application that we can find in the Laplace transform topics. Okay, so in general, this topic is what we call it's similar like solving the IVP. Okay, it's similar, quite similar. So it's just something like application. Okay, alright. Okay, so we go to detail first. We go to the what's the meaning by transfer function first. So transfer function here. Okay, some textbook or some notes transfer function. We use HS, okay, to denote it as a transfer function, okay, HS. So what's meant by transfer function? Transfer function is a ratio, okay. Transfer function is a ratio of the output x, okay. Okay, I give you a figure like this, okay. Right. So transfer function is the output, okay, the ratio of output to the input f, okay. Alright. So if it's ratio means that is something like this, okay. So this is output. So this is this is input. Okay, this is output. Okay. Alright. So this is the flow. Okay, transfer function. Okay, maybe it's not necessary for you to know it. Okay, you just know the equation. Okay, so back to the equation now. So HS is the what we call the alphabet is doesn't matter, any alphabet can be, okay, it depends on the equation, but the point here is it's a ratio between output and input. Okay, the ratio of output x to the input f. Okay, output, input. So x, maybe some question use y. Okay, maybe some question use, yeah, it can be any alphabet. Okay, but you need to know the keyword here is must be output and input. Ratio, output, input. Okay. Alright, class. So now we go to how to answer it. Okay, how to answer if you get the question transfer function. Okay, so the question first one, determine the transfer function HS for the system that governed by the differential equation y double prime plus 4y prime plus 20y equal to ft. Okay, whereas ft is the input. Okay, so this one the keyword here, input, and yt is the output of the system. Okay, of the system. Alright, so then hence find the impulse response function. Okay, so basically if the question asks you to find transfer function, they also must ask you also find out the impulse response function. So it's a pair. Okay, dia dua ni mesti akan together. So yeah, just now I explained about transfer function, but later on I will show you what's the meaning or what's actually is the what we call impulse response function, because it's related to your transfer function. So you cannot do this one first. You cannot do what we call impulse response function first. You must solve for transfer function, then later baru you can solve for impulse response, because impulse response is depends on the answer that you get for transfer function. Okay, we back to the question now. So determine the transfer function hs for the system that governed by the differential equation y double prime plus 4 y prime plus 20 y equal to ft. Okay, equal to ft. Okay, so it's memang it doesn't state any function like t square, exponent, sine. It's just ft here. Okay, whereas ft is the input and yt is the output of the system. Hence, find the impulse response function. Okay, so the first step is we refer back to the steps that we done before in the solving initial value problem. So the first step, okay, you need to write this equation in Laplace transform. Okay, we just write in terms of Laplace transform. Okay, then you apply the linearity property, so we can split it. Okay, we break it into each of it. Alright class, okay, now what we do next is we will substitute all this y double prime, y prime and y, it become what? Still remember or not? It will become what? S square y s minus s y 0 minus y prime 0, okay, for this one, and then plus 4 s y s minus 4 y 0, okay, done. And then this one plus 20 y s, and how about this one? Laplace transform for ft is equal to f s. Okay, so you just write fs. Okay class, okay. Right, so now simplify. But before you simplify, if for solution of IVP, what we do is we will substitute all the y0, y prime 0 with the initial condition, is it? But if you can see from this question, there have no doesn't exist any initial condition. Okay, it doesn't give you any initial condition. If you can read the whole sentence here, it doesn't mention any initial condition. So what's value that we supposed to substitute here? Okay, this is the difference between the solution of IVP and transfer function. The difference here is all the initial condition here, or all this value here, we will substitute with 0, or in the other words means that we will just ignore it. Okay, as selagi if you have or if you get this y0, y prime 0 and so on, we will substitute it become 0. That's it. Okay, just substitute it become 0. So now the equation is s square y s plus 4s y s plus 20 y s equal to fs. So you can simplify this one. You have y s here. So we will factorize it. So it becomes s square plus 4s plus 20 fs. Okay, now what is hs? Okay, hs is a transfer function, whereas transfer function is equal to this equation ss over fs. So now we can see from the step number 3, now we have ys here and we have fs. So how to get our hs? How to get? Because we want to find hs. Okay, we want to find hs, and we know that hs is equal to xs over fs. So in our case now, in our situation now, is not ss lah, it will be ys. Okay, alright, so how to get this one? How to get hs? So we just move these two around. You just rearrange back your equation, left hand side and right hand side. So we want to make it ys over fs, is it? Ys over fs. So what we do is you just bring this fs to the left hand side. Okay, we just bring, so it will become ys over fs, and is equal. Okay, how about at the right hand side? At the right hand side now we just have 1. Okay, because we already bring fs to this side, so it become fs here, And at the right hand side now, it will be 1. Okay, it's not 0, it will be 1. Okay, it still have a number here. It is 1. Okay, and we just want to have ys over fs and at the left hand side. So what we do for this one, okay, we bring s squared plus 4s plus 20 to the right hand side. Therefore, okay, so if you can check back, this one actually is your hs. So therefore your hs is equal to 1 over s squared plus 4s plus 20. Okay, so this is how we gain our hs. It's nothing calculation occur here, tak ada berlaku apa-apa perkiraan. We just move around or we just rearrange the equation. So to make it or to get it, hs is equal to ys over fs. So we done for the first part. The first part is to find the transfer function. Next, we go to the second part. The second part asks you to find the impulse response function. So actually, what's meant by impulse response function is we want to get ht. Can you relate these two? This is hs, and now for impulse response, okay, this is transfer function, okay? Transfer function is hs. Impulse response function is ht. So what's the relation between these two? Yes, correct. Even though I didn't hear any voice of you, but I think most of you can answer it. Yes, you need to do it the inverse. Okay, you need to do it inverse. To get your ht, you need to do it inverse hs. Okay, you need to inverse this equation so that you will get your ht. Okay, class. So it backs to the previous topic, which is inverse. Okay, you need to apply the inverse here. Okay, so I just write down the final answer. So I don't want to do it the step because I believe all of you already learned inverse before, right? So yes, you can refer to the previous video or you can refer to the slides to answer this question. So I just write down the final answer for this question. Okay, I hope that you can try by yourself. Okay, try. Don't just simply accept it, because maybe some questions have a trick. Okay, so if you can't get the answer like mine, okay, like me, this one, you can check with me later. Okay, but I hope that you can do it by yourself first. Okay, class? Alright, so that's about the transfer and also impulse response function. So you can do it your tutorial. So yeah, like I said before, if you have a trouble, if you have a problem dealing with the tutorial equation, you can ask your group member first. And if your group member still didn't know the answer, then you can ask. Maybe you can ask the others team, but if you want to ask me, also can. Okay, but make sure you try or you put your effort first. Okay, you go ask your friend first. Okay, okay, class. So we have done with the Laplace transform. Okay, the end of Laplace